The Uninvited Host. In the bustling heart of Barcelona, nestled within its Gothic quarter, newlyweds Jenna and Mark booked an Airbnb for their honeymoon, drawn by the apartment's charm and its promise of an authentic living experience in a historic neighborhood. The host, a friendly local named Carlos, assured them of a wonderful stay in his beautifully furnished flat, which was just steps away from the vibrant Las Ramblas. Carlos was particularly meticulous during check-in, showing them how to use the old-fashioned keys for the traditional heavy wooden doors and the iron gate that led to the apartment. He stressed the importance of security in such a busy area, advising them always to double-lock the door at night. For the first few days, Jenna and Mark immersed themselves in the city's culture and cuisine, returning each evening to the cozy apartment. However, their sense of peace was disrupted when Jenna woke up on the fourth night to the sound of the iron gate quietly clanging. From the bed, she could see the faint outline of a figure moving stealthily through the dimly lit living room. Assuming it might be Mark returning from a late-night snack run, Jenna whispered his name. But the figure stopped, turned, and in the soft city glow filtering through the window, she recognized not Mark, but Carlos, their host. He put a finger to his lips, signaling her to be quiet, and then continued to move towards the hallway that led to their bedroom. Terrified, Jenna quickly nudged Mark, who awoke abruptly. Seeing the situation, he shouted, and Carlos, caught off guard, hurriedly explained that he was checking to make sure everything was secure in the apartment. Mark, skeptical and angry, escorted Carlos to the door, locking it behind him. The next morning, the couple confronted Carlos in the light of day. He apologized, claiming a mix-up with booking dates had led him to think the apartment was empty that night. Unconvinced by his explanation and disturbed by the violation of their privacy, Jenna and Mark contacted Airbnb immediately to report the incident and moved out to a nearby hotel for the remainder of their stay. Airbnb responded with apologies and a promise to investigate, reimbursing their stay and offering compensation for the distress caused. The couple also filed a report with the local police as a precaution, though it seemed unlikely that anything would come of it. Later, as they checked the reviews again, a chill ran down Jenna's spine when they noticed a few vague mentions of unexpected visits from the host during previous stays. These comments, which they had initially overlooked, now took on a sinister significance. It was clear that Carlos had made a habit of entering the apartment during rentals, possibly under the guise of security or maintenance. This eerie realization marred what was meant to be a joyous and romantic trip, leaving Jenna and Mark wary of ever again using Airbnb for their travels. Their honeymoon tale had turned into a cautionary story about the importance of thoroughly vetting accommodation reviews and maintaining vigilance, even in seemingly secure and welcoming environments. The hidden cameras. Liz and Tom, a couple from Seattle, were looking forward to a relaxing weekend getaway in the picturesque town of Aspen. They had booked a cozy Airbnb cabin with stunning mountain views, promoted as a secluded retreat, perfect for escaping the bustling city life. The host, named Derek, had excellent reviews and was commended for his attention to detail and privacy. Upon arrival, Derek, a congenial and talkative man, welcomed them warmly and showed them around the cabin. He pointed out all the amenities, including the state-of-the-art entertainment system, a fully equipped modern kitchen, and what he described as an advanced security system to ensure guests felt safe in the secluded location. The first day passed in bliss as Liz and Tom hiked the nearby trails and enjoyed the natural beauty surrounding them. That evening, while Tom was setting up a movie on the entertainment system, Liz decided to look for extra blankets in the master bedroom's closet. As she searched, she noticed a small, oddly placed vent near the back of the closet. Curiosity piqued. She peered closer and realized it was not a vent at all, but seemed to be a concealed camera pointing directly at the bed. Horrified, Liz called Tom over, who inspected the find and confirmed her fears. It was definitely a camera. They began a thorough search of the cabin and found more cameras hidden in various locations. One in the bathroom, disguised as a shower hook, another in the living room embedded in the bookshelf, and even one in the kitchen facing the dining area. Feeling violated and angry, they immediately called Derek to confront him about the cameras. Derek stuttered through a flustered apology, claiming the cameras were part of the security measures meant only for protection against potential break-ins and were not active during guest stays. However, his explanations did not add up, especially for the cameras placed so intrusively. Determined to take action, Liz and Tom left the cabin that night and contacted Airbnb's emergency support line to report the invasion of privacy. Airbnb responded promptly, assuring them that they would investigate the matter thoroughly and that the host would be suspended during the process. They also arranged for Liz and Tom to stay in a nearby hotel for the rest of their intended stay and offered a full refund. The next day, Liz and Tom went to the local police station to file a report. The police took their complaints seriously, especially as privacy violations of this nature were becoming increasingly common in rental properties. They launched an investigation into Derek and the property, which revealed that the cameras were indeed recording and the footage was stored on hidden drives. This incident sparked a wider investigation into privacy practices in local rental properties, leading to stricter regulations and checks on Airbnb and similar services in the area. Liz and Tom's harrowing experience was covered in local news, raising awareness about the importance of checking for hidden cameras and protecting personal privacy while renting. Their weekend retreat had turned into a nightmare, but their proactive steps helped ensure that future guests would not have to suffer a similar invasion of privacy. The Unseen Guest. Mia and Jack, a couple from San Diego, decided to take a long-awaited vacation to the lush surroundings of Asheville, North Carolina. They rented a beautiful, secluded Airbnb nestled in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains, a perfect retreat for relaxation and nature walks. The host, an elderly and seemingly kind-hearted man named George, greeted them upon arrival with warm smiles and stories of the house's history, pointing out that part of the house was locked off for storage and personal items. The first few days were exactly what Mia and Jack had hoped for: tranquil mornings with coffee on the porch, hiking nearby trails, and visiting local artisan markets. However, by the fourth night, things began to feel off. They started hearing soft, muffled sounds coming from the supposedly unused part of the house late at night: footsteps, faint music, and occasionally voices. At first, Mia and Jack brushed off the noises as the house settling or perhaps animals in the walls, common in old mountain homes. But then other, more disturbing things began happening. Food from the fridge started to disappear, personal items like shampoo and socks went missing, and once Jack found a wet towel and used soap in the bathroom when they returned from a day out. Tension mounted and curiosity turned to concern. They contacted George to ask about the noises and missing items. He sounded genuinely perplexed and suggested they might be mistaken or overreacting. However, he admitted that sometimes he used the locked-off part of the house as an office and might have left some personal items around. Unsatisfied with his explanation, Mia and Jack decided to investigate. One evening, they noticed that the door to the locked-off section was slightly ajar. Heart-pounding, they pushed it open and stepped inside. The space wasn't just storage, it was a fully furnished apartment, complete with photographs and personal belongings. It appeared lived in. As they surveyed the area, they suddenly heard the front door open. They hid behind a door as an older woman entered the apartment, talking on the phone in a hushed voice about keeping out of sight. Once she hung up, Mia and Jack confronted her, demanding to know who she was and why she was there. The woman was taken aback but quickly regained her composure. She introduced herself as Irene, George's sister, who was going through a difficult divorce and had moved into the locked-off part of the house temporarily. George had told her that he was renting out the other part of the house. He thought it would help cover additional expenses without involving her. The revelation eased the tension somewhat, but Mia and Jack were upset about the lack of transparency and privacy invasion. They called George, who arrived apologetic and embarrassed. He offered to refund their stay and pay for their accommodation elsewhere if they chose to leave. Deciding to cut their trip short, Mia and Jack accepted his offer, feeling sympathy for Irene's situation, but disturbed by the experience. They left the next morning, their dream vacation overshadowed by the unexpected complexities of their accommodations. The experience left them wary but wiser, more cautious about the hidden lives intertwined within temporary homes like Airbnb. The hidden ritual. Elena and Marcus, seeking a luxurious retreat from their bustling life in Boston, booked an upscale Airbnb in Santa Barbara, renowned for its secluded beaches and elite clientele. The property they chose was a secluded villa perched on the cliffs, offering stunning views of the crashing waves below. The host, Adrian, was a charming yet somewhat elusive figure who briefly showed them around, emphasizing the property's security features, which included surveillance cameras and an alarm system, before hastily leaving them to enjoy their privacy. As they settled in, the couple was enchanted by the villa's opulence and the breathtaking natural scenery. However, their idyllic vacation took a dark turn when Marcus noticed his high-tech drone was missing after their first night. Initially dismissing it as a misplacement, their anxiety heightened when Elena's designer scarf and a rare vintage wine they had purchased went missing the following day. Concerned and confused, they decided to investigate, suspecting that someone might be entering the villa while they were out. They set up their own hidden camera in the main living area and left for a hike, hoping to catch a glimpse of any uninvited visitors. Upon reviewing the footage, their fears were confirmed, but the reality was far more sinister than a simple burglary. The video revealed not just one person, but several cloaked figures moving silently through the villa, their faces obscured and movements almost ghostly as they sifted through their belongings. The figures communicated in hushed tones using a strange, unrecognizable language, adding an element of the uncanny to the already disturbing scene. Shocked and fearing for their safety, Elena and Marcus showed the footage to Adrian, who appeared shocked and dismayed. He urged them to contact the police immediately. The investigation that followed uncovered a chilling backstory. The cleaning service employed at the villa was a front for a cult-like syndicate that used stolen goods in bizarre rituals, believing the possessions of travelers brought them spiritual power. The police raid that ensued led to several arrests, but some members of the syndicate escaped, leading to an ongoing investigation. The couple was moved to a secure hotel by the police as a precaution, their stay extended as key witnesses in the case against the syndicate. As they tried to enjoy the remainder of their trip, Elena and Marcus were haunted by the thought of the strange intruders who had silently watched them from the shadows. Every sound in their new room made them jump, every knock on the door a cause for alarm. Their dream vacation had turned into a nightmare, where luxury and beauty masked a dark underworld of ritual and theft. Their departure from Santa Barbara was hailed with relief rather than regret, and back in Boston, they often found themselves double-checking locks and jumping at shadows, a reminder that sometimes the most beautiful places hide the darkest secrets. The hidden door. When Hannah booked a quiet Airbnb for a solo getaway, she didn't expect to find photos of herself hidden in the attic. The first night, she noticed little things were off. Her toothbrush was moved, her shoes were slightly out of place, and the kitchen light, which she was sure she had turned off, was back on. She brushed it off as forgetfulness. But by the second night, faint creaking noises from above caught her attention, even though the cabin was supposed to be a single story. Determined to figure it out, she searched and found a small attic door hidden behind a closet. Inside there was a sleeping bag, empty food wrappers and blurry photos, all of her. They showed her cooking, reading, and even sleeping. Panicked, she called the police. They found a hidden entry point leading directly to the attic, accessible from outside. The host insisted he knew nothing, claiming the place had been vacant for months. Despite a thorough search, the intruder was never found. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and comment your scary ideas below for future videos.